Welcome to Covington Fourplex in La Habra.
How is it? I'm here with Gene, our renowned fix and flip guru. I know you don't like the Gene, but I want to call him that anyway. Today we're in La Habra at one of the properties. I was here a couple of weeks ago where they were demolishing the place, and Gene's going to take us through today and show us what they've done and got rid of those 80s popcorn ceilings.
The 80s are dead, finally.
Excellent, Gene. Please
Come on
lead the way.
So, this here is what we call a Covington. A Covington fourplex is designed in such a way that the person can live in the front while having 3 tenants in the back. Fourplex are blended between residential neighborhoods. You can take a look here. So it's blended in between residential neighborhoods. So we have houses here. The purpose is the first one is more like a home and the other ones might be more apartment-like. So it's typically a 3-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, and a 1-bedroom. But what's good about this Covington is the size of the rooms. The size of the rooms are very large, as we'll see in a second. Other than that, the other thing I wanted to mention about this place is we're gonna start over here actually. What does this say?
Gene, that says a Total Electric Gold Medallion Home Award.
So a gold medallion home is what they built in the 60s and 70s when we had our first OPEC embargo where we had gas prices going up. So the United States says, no more natural gas, we use just electricity. So the things that we're talking about today are not new. They talked about this in the 70s too when they were trying to get away from oil in the 70s. And all this means is that everything in this house does not use gas. It's all electric. So they were doing this 50 years ago. Didn't work then, and things go in cycles.
Because now, Gene, most of the homes, especially in California, are gas and electric.
Long story short, the reason why they're gas and electric is because gas is much cheaper. Because the United States has an unfair advantage when it comes to natural gas because the way that we do fracking now has made gas so unbelievably cheap. Then the medium to near term, all our heating and all of our stoves should be heated by natural gas. It's way cheaper than electricity.
And Jim, that's because we need more electric power stations, but there's not enough on the grid to support the demand.
The long story short is, ever since we discovered fracking around 2013 and 14, fracking creates natural gas as a byproduct. Gas is really cheap because natural gas in the United States is a waste product. It's not like that in the rest of the world. The rest of the world is extremely expensive to use natural gas.
So Jim, what is your goal starting over here?
So the first thing that you mentioned, because about the 80s, which is going to be the ceilings. The acoustic ceilings are otherwise known as popcorn ceilings, and they were a popular texture that was made in the 60s to 80s. They're not very popular today. So the popcorn ceilings are usually scraped off. Popcorn ceilings, a lot of times they would have asbestos. Asbestos is a fiber. It's like a glass. This one doesn't, because before you do this, you're supposed to test for it. And if it doesn't have it, then you can remove it. Not all popcorn ceiling has asbestos. Popular misconception. So when you have popcorn ceilings, you scrape it, you have asbestos sometimes. Asbestos is basically like fiberglass. They're basically glass fibers. They can't hurt you if they're on the ceiling. They're just there hanging out. But if you scrape it, then it becomes active because it breaks like little pieces of glass. You breathe into it, your lungs are not able to process it. It stays in a part of your lungs and that part of your lung dies. And then you get cancer. It's called mesothelioma. That's the cancer that's caused by asbestos. Asbestos was used in a lot of materials, especially on ships as well, but especially for a lot of the ceilings, but not all of them. So if it has asbestos, you're supposed to test before you cut it out. Otherwise, the fine for somebody who's doing it, which is a contractor, is going to be, I think, $30,000. But if you do it as yourself, as a normal person who doesn't know any better, it's $500. So I've known people who've scraped ceilings that they weren't supposed to. They got caught somehow because somebody was being stupid and the city got called in and they said, this is positive for asbestos and you're in trouble. And he says, who did this work? And the owner was like 80-something years old. And he said, I did it. He didn't believe him. I was like, no, seriously, who did this work? I did it. As a private citizen, you are not subject to these rules. These rules of the state saying you're fined $30,000 goes to contractors. As a private citizen, he gave him a fine of like $500. So the contractor paid the homeowner for the fine and dodged a bullet, but otherwise he could have gotten a fine for $30,000 because as a licensee, you're bound by certain rules. Real estate agents are licensees. Being a licensee, it means we're bound by certain rules. It also means that if something goes wrong, we would actually get in more trouble than an average person. This is the nature of licensing. And it's a big difference between a licensed agent and somebody claiming to be a wholesaler. That they're just buying and selling houses and I put it on the website and we don't need real estate agents, we can just wholesale everything.
And it's always easier said than done. You know what I mean? When you try to do it yourself,
yeah,
it's not that easy.
Yeah. So that was the other thing I want to go over. For this house, what I want to show the audience is this here wall is something that wants to come down. So we're in the living room. This is a wall that goes into the dining room / kitchen. Ooh, that wall is coming down.
That's a big wall, Gene.
Yep.
So how would you do that? Because that is a big wall. In my eyes, that's a big wall.
Yep.
And I know that if you have to take something like that down, what do you need to look for to make sure it will stand by itself, the ceiling?
First off, you have to see if it's actually supporting anything of the structure. The way you would know is you go into the attic. So if you had a wall that was a supporting wall that was supporting the structure of the house, the way that you have to do it is you have to put 2 pieces of, actually it's just a piece of wood like this and like this, so you're holding it up. So if it's like the walls like this, you put 1 piece like this, 1 piece like this, remove the wall, put a support beam, and then remove the supports.
Got it.
It's expensive, takes a lot of time, and if you can get away without avoiding a wall, without removing a wall, then then you would do it. But if you want to remove a wall that's supporting a structure, that's how you would do it. And you would have to do a support beam. A central support beam is going to be 6 inches. So you'll still see 6 inches like right here from the top.
Okay,
because it's holding the whole structure.
But Gene, this is a big.
So I don't know if this is a support wall, but if it is, we
Yeah.
have to put a support beam, do some framing, support the ceiling with a couple of pieces of wood vertically, and then take off the wall, put a support beam, then take the supports off.
And Gene, I mean, the kitchen's pretty big. That's a good mid-sized kitchen. This is a nice dining room. Yeah, absolutely. This is actually not even mid-sized. This is huge. And what would this be considered?
Well, it's remember what I was talking about earlier. For a Covington fourplex, which are fourplexes that were designed for the owner to live in front and to have 3 tenants to generate income. So the purpose of it was to build wealth for the middle class. Covingtons were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. After the 80s, we basically stopped building houses. California government made it illegal for whatever reason to build houses. So they said, oh, this is not good, blah, blah, blah. Covingtons are great. I love Covingtons. They're usually in residential neighborhoods. They're tucked right in there. That's why the kitchen is bigger. This is the similar size as a house kitchen. Covingtons are designed that way. They're designed to be very house-like. This is designed like a house.
So look at this dining room area. This is huge.
Massive.
This is nice. Exactly, Gene. Yeah.
It's designed for a full dining table. So I'll show you the bedrooms too, because it's, you could probably see here, hallway. Ooh, maybe the next room. So this is one of the bedrooms. This is a bathroom, and those 2 are bedrooms.
Nice and big, yeah.
So I'm going to go into this bedroom because the lighting is better. I'm 6'3". You can fit a whole queen size bed here. So this is the size of a master for most houses. And yet this is not the one with a suite on it. You have a massive closets here. You can see, this is not your standard size closets.
That is huge, yeah.
Massive closets.
It's literally the length of the wall. Hey, Gene, look at that. Yeah.
Just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad. A lot of things were built when they had more time, more space, more other things. We'll see the other one too. So remember, Covington fourplexes are very good because of this.
Oh my gosh.
So this one's also massive.
Wow.
And it's even more massive. It's
Yeah.
slightly bigger. And you saw the other one had a really big closet. This has an equally big closet and has a second closet. So the patio here does not have a sliding door, but it's, this patio, I don't even know why it exists. Who knows why it exists? And the bathroom is there behind. It's a suite. Something that we're planning to do here is we're planning to do the fiberglass tubs just to reglaze them. So we can get away with without having to tile. For a rental property, we really shouldn't be tiling. Tiling and grout is a problematic because tiling and grout is leakage in the future. Grout leaks. Grout is not a great water blocker, I guess. It's actually more for looks. The thing that blocks the water is going to be tar. It's going to be red guard. It's going to be black paper. Okay. These are you have other things behind the wall to do this kind of stuff. So we're not doing that here. All we're doing is changing the what we call soft plumbing. The soft plumbing are the things that you see that's in front of the wall. That's called soft plumbing. And we're also going to reglaze the fiberglass.
So soft plumbing, Gene, what is the soft plumbing? Is that the shower head and?
Yes.
Okay.
The drains and the faucets, the sink, these are all considered soft plumbing.
You get to replace all of this as well?
Oh yeah, well, we take a look at the other bathroom, because this one has a bunch of stuff thrown into it. So yeah, what we're doing here is we're going to replace the vanity. Toilets are cheap. Toilets are $100. Those things are like $20 for the water supply line. This is usually a whole set, so this has to be changed out. This is an apartment style mirror. So the more common ones are a hanging mirror and not these. Medicine cabinets are still good. New light fixture probably with a little more modernish because that's about 25 years old. Changing this thing, same, reglazing this is fine. Fiberglass is fine as long as it's not fully cracked.
Okay.
Then it's fine. Just reglaze it, it'll protect it. Paint protects things. So reglazing is painting. Paint protects, it doesn't just look nice. Paint actually blocks corrosion, blocks stuff. So yeah, this is just replacing all that, and what we do is hardware. We do door stoppers. We do maybe even the doors. These doors are all oil-based paint. This one I think is probably oil-based paint too, just how it looks.
Gene, how can you tell?
A good painter is able to tell if it's oil-based, water-based.
Okay.
To me, this feels like water-based just because it's less glistening and less shiny. This one feels oil-based because it's just glossier. If this was oil-based, the way that you have to deal with it is you have to have an alcohol-based solution and you rub it, and you rub this whole thing off, and then you scrape it, and then you repaint it. If it was just water-based, just repaint over it. So that's why oil-based paint is basically double the work. All of the doors are probably oil-based paint. So the doors usually need to be patched. Doors will probably need to be repainted as well. These I can almost guarantee you are oil-based paint. These are almost always oil-based paint. People don't really paint these because if you feel it, like you start like scraping a little bit, and it comes off like a little bit, then it would be oil-based because water doesn't do that. Water just kind of gets soaked into it. Whereas oil is like sits on top of the wood. If you ever see these peeling, it means that somebody put oil-based paint and they put water-based paint on top of it. Oil and water don't mix.
Got it, Gene, got it. Excellent.
We learned that in what, 7th grade science class? So what are we doing here? We are going to be doing paint, flooring, kitchen, vanity, reglazed tubs, remove wall, and that's about it.
So Gene, the floor from my perspective looks okay. Why do you not like this floor? I don't see any damage, anything lifting really. It's all here throughout the home, besides the bedrooms.
This floor is about 20 years old as well. So the problem with that is that if everything else is contemporary, but one part of it looks 20 years old, that's not good. So you want everything to look in a similar age if that's what you're going for. So for right now, this house, we can actually do a haphazard fix here and there if we wanted to, but flooring is such a big part of it that it's not really worth it. It's not that expensive. This unit here might be about 1,500-ish square feet. And it being 1,500 square feet, it's going to be the flooring, maybe $10,000. Wow. And it would just bypass a lot of issues too. Since if we were keeping the floor, what they would do is that they would actually cover it. They would have covered it before scraping. Okay. The fact that it's not covered means that we're not keeping it.
And what are you going to replace this for with, the $10,000 flooring?
Luxury vinyl planks, usually $2 to $250 per feet. But when you're buying stuff like this, you also have to buy baseboards. What are baseboards?
Okay.
These are baseboards, because each of these are different heights. So you have to buy baseboards, which are usually $1.50 per linear foot. Remember, square feet and linear feet. It's different things. If you have a normal sized rooms, then you have a pretty good idea of how much each of them are. And that's added cost. Price per square footage of demoing the existing, it's a certain cost. I'm usually paying about $8 a foot right now, including labors, material, as well as demo and baseboards. I'm paying about $8 a foot.
And what kind of baseboard would you put down here, Gene? Because it's
newer.
One that's already but is it a more modern shape?
Yes, this is an older one. This is like a quarter round. So a quarter round, if you think about it, is just a circle split into quarters, and then you just put in a quarter. That's a quarter round. It's a quarter round with a little bit of like maybe like a half inch or something. Or I'm sorry.
That's kind of this little loop over here.
Yeah. So that's an old style one. It means that they had extra wood and they just chop them into quarters and there you go.
Oh man.
Versus the baseboard nowadays are usually, you've seen them, we'll see it.
Yeah.
Like this like inch and a half tall, like that kind of stuff. It's just more modern.
Just flat and straight.
Other things that we do, people don't fully recognize or realize, is we have to patch. So these are the imperfections in the wall. Just random imperfections. So you would just sand them down, scrape them down. If you put any kind of photos or anything, just imperfections, you put a little bit of patching. You put a little bit of patching and then you scrape it with sandpaper.
Now that you've pointed that out, Gene, I can see them everywhere.
Yeah. This texture is called orange peel texture. So we may keep the orange peel texture. Orange peel texture looks like an orange peel. And a lot of places are going towards flat, or I'm sorry, just smooth surface. So we may or may not do that because smooth surface takes a lot of money, but at the same time, a lot of the patching here, when you do too much patching, you have to redo the texture if you do too much patching. So things people don't realize. This, you gotta replace this, you gotta replace all of these. And even if you have one that works, it'll look really weird if everything is repainted and that is yellow. Or that looks like that looks like that, the outlets look like that. It won't look right.
And gee, something like this old fixture here that we don't have anymore for the Ethernet or the telephone, you would just kind of
You can just close it out.
Yeah.
So sometimes you would just put a cover on it that doesn't have any kind of opening.
And something like this, you just remove,
Yeah.
cap everything off, and then just.
You don't have to cap everything off because there's no gas here. The whole house has a bunch of these kind of stuff because the whole idea, remember, what we use gas for is you cook your food and you cook your people. So it's for a warmer as well as for cooking food. So you can use an electric version of an oven, you can use an electric version of a heater. They're inefficient. So that's mainly what I have to talk about here. So what have we gone over? We've gone over the fact that we're working on painting, we're working on flooring, we're working on the wall, we're working on the vanity, we're working on reglazing the tub, we're working on changing some of the closet doors. You saw the big massive closet doors, and that's the core of it. The core of that would be at least, it might not sound like a lot, but we'll let everybody guess how much they think this is. But prices are way higher than they were 10 years ago, but a lot of people still can't give a good idea of what the pricing for these kind of things are.
Gene, this step in the kitchen, and what's the reason or the purpose for this step over here, Gene?
Who knows?
And over here, you have it you have this whole kind of,
Could be something, could be nothing. Who knows?
Okay.
It could be hollow. Yeah. I don't think it is. No, it's thick. I don't know. It's probably because something to do in the attic. They need it for whatever reason, because this is connected to a few other units. But the thing I want to mention was that a lot of times people don't recognize how much small things go into fixing up a house. So not only do you have to change like a disposal, but you also have to change things like the outlet covers, this kind of covers. You have to change door stoppers. You have to change the door hardwares. You have to change the faucet things. You have to change the light fixtures. You have to change the smoke detectors. You have to change the CO2. And a lot of these things at the end of your project will probably cost you another $1,500, $2,000. Just random stuff. You don't want to have a brand new kitchen or a brand new whatever, and then all your hardware is mismatched.
So Gene, outside when we're introducing ourselves, you said, just before that, you said that the nice thing about this property, there's some nice space in the back for a ADU. Excellent.
Our favorite 3 words in the English language, ADU. Let's go take a look. So here's our glorious jungle that we have, that I want to get rid of this landscaping, which I think I will, because it's too much. Most of the time,
there's a lot of space here.
If you were to have a building like this, what you would do, people would build the most disgusting thing known to man. Stick 2 more units down here, or 1 or 2 units down here. So you have 4 parking spaces. Parking spaces are about 10 by 15-ish. So usually 10 by 20 is the garage size. So per parking space, so 20 by 20 will be maybe a standard size garage. So 4 parking spaces, they will just put units here. So I wouldn't actually do that, because I would like to keep the parking. There's 4 units here. You want to make sure everyone has parking. The way I would do it, if we swap places here, is this side. Also has 4 parking spaces. It also has this empty pad right here. It's very good. So if it were me and I built an ADU, the ideal ADU for me would not be to eat up all my parking. When I eat up all my parking, I get worse tenants, and I get tenants that move more often, and I get tenants with less good properties, and I can not charge as much. I don't want that. What I would rather do is I'd rather go up. So I'd rather keep these 4 parking spaces, add 1 or 2 more parking spaces, tell these people to stop parking like this, and then put 1 or 2 units on top. So that way I can maintain these parking spaces. Someone might say, Gene, isn't that dangerous? What if they hit the posts? Well, these posts have been here for 50, 60 years on the parking on this side. So this side can actually have a couple of posts that are between it, holding up the structure. And you can build an ADU on top here. The city cannot stop you from building an ADU, and they cannot put these height restrictions. You can do 2 stories by statutory right, 2 stories. And by statutory right, you can build these units, and I would not use up my parking. I would keep my parking, have more parking, throw more units, and have 5 or 6 units here.
That's awesome.
If they'll allow me to do 6, I'll do 6. If they'll allow me to do 5, I'll do 5. I'll make 1 big unit.
Okay, and this is a big unit. These are big units within themselves.
Yes.
So this is a big building, Gene. It's huge.
2 bedrooms nowadays are Most apartments are 2 bedrooms built in the 70s or 80s. They're going to be about 700 to 900 square feet. These are about 1,000. The front house is like 1,400 square feet, larger than most 3 bedrooms. So a lot of 3 bedrooms now that are like 1,400 square feet, they're multi-stories, or they consider 2 levels or even 3 levels and of space. And it's, remember, that when you're counting the square footage of a place that's a 3-story building, you're counting all the square footage of the staircases. The staircases are about 200 square feet each, 150, 200 square foot each.
I never knew that.
So what I mean by that is if you had a 3-story monstrosity, as I like to call them, you have 2 sets of staircases. The 2 sets of staircases are between 300, 400 square feet, meaning that if you had a 1,600 square foot, 3-story building, 1,600 square feet, it'd be similar to a 1,200 or 1,300 square foot single story, the amount of space that you can actually use. Hallways and stairs are considered living areas, so they're counted when the city counts it, and guess what? They're counting when the city taxes you. They're taxing you on the stairs that you're not using.
And your hallway,
That you need to have to access the next part of your house, but you're not actually using. That's it. Do you have any concluding thoughts? Otherwise, the main things that we talked about today, I guess I'll summarize a little bit, is what we're doing in the front unit. This is a 4-plex. This is how we do property management. This is important for getting the units ready between tenancies. The tenants up there live for a long time, so we want to do a major refresh when they've lived there for a long time. And the back unit I've showed here is my favorite 3-letter word in the U.S. I'm sorry, my favorite 3-letter word in the dictionary is going to be ADU.
ADU.
So it'll be right here. And I would rather build 2nd story than eat up the parking, because I think the parking would make it less desirable for other people.
In closing, the main purpose is to really show you Gene's logical, practical way of how he analyzes property. First of all, for the opportunity. Second of all, of how you can capitalize on space, like this available lot over here, and even going up and keeping the parking. But also, he understands numbers. So Gene will say no. He will not spend a cent or a dollar on something where he doesn't see value. That's one thing that I noticed by Gene, and I'm very surprised, because most people, they'll just spend. Gene actually says no to his contractors and his subs. He says, no, I'm not going to spend that money there, which really, to me, is very surprising. That's really why I want to do videos with Gene.
It's not really no, it's more, if I'm spending the money, what am I getting for it?
Exactly.
What am I getting exactly for that?
ROI, return on investment.
Yes.
And I love that. For myself, just for myself, Gene, I'm like a spender. Gene's like, no, that's not the way to do it. That's bad money management. Do the right thing. What's your ROI on that? Return on investment.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Gene.
Yeah.
That was good. That was very good. I love that. Thank you.
Tune in. When we're finished, we'll come back. So see you soon. So Kevin, the interesting thing about a lot of these units and about the way that they're designed is, as I mentioned about a Covington, is that you have the 3-bedroom in the front, and then you have 2 units here, and then you have 1 more unit here that's hanging over the garage. So it's kind of the design of it, which is that you have 2 units on top, 2 units on bottom, and the unit on top is mostly by itself, but sometimes it's not fully by itself. So it shares the 2nd story with the other ones. So there's 1 other one on top, and there's 2 on the bottom, and then you have an extra space over at the end for parking. So that's the extra 15 feet over for parking. Yeah. So what's interesting about this is you have bedrooms over, and part of the reason they build this way and they want to put the floor plans the same is that they want the bedrooms over bedrooms, right? Yeah. Bedroom over bedrooms, and they want bathrooms over bathrooms. Why would you want a bathroom over a bathroom?
The plumbing and the easy access for...
Cheapest method of construction. Correct.
Okay.
It's the cheapest method of construction. When you have 1 drain line from the upstairs and you go down, and then you have 1 water supply and you go down, and everything just goes down 1 straight line and it goes into the city. So water comes in on 1 straight line, and a wastewater goes down in 1 straight line.
Wow, simple.
They're designed in a way that's built well. That's why 4 units make sense.
The landscaping is eye candy. You're saying it actually isn't. There's actually a problem here. What do you see as a problem, Gene, for all this landscaping?
You have different types of plants. You have different shrubs. You have different rose bushes and carnelians specifically take up a lot of water. So this takes up more water than this. So this needs to be watered at a certain pace so that this can actually survive. And you can see this is lichen here, lichen and moss. You can kind of see that kind of stuff. And you can even see it more towards on the unit itself.
Oh,
you can see it growing there. You can see it on the side of the building here. Eventually, all that water is not good for the structure of it, and to me, it's not really worth it. At a minimum, I'd want to get rid of this magnolia tree because this is pretty big. I wouldn't kill it, this magnolia tree right here, but I'd at least cut it to 1/3 the size. I do like it because I do like the fact that when you come out of your house, when you smell greenery, it's better. Like you can smell it, like you can feel it. So it gives you a better feeling of it, but this is too many. So a lot of these need to be cut down more, and we need to simplify the plants here and basically get rid of all the roses, all the carnations. Just have plants that are shrubs, that are more California native shrubs.
Yeah.
These are okay. These require kind of a lot of water. You can tell this might be underwatered and it wants more water, whereas some of these are overwatered, and that's why the flooring is like this. Like things that have like a little bit more oily, a little thicker, like like little thicker ones.
Right.
These hold moisture here. So these are more like California native plants, and shrubs like this are more resilient to water stuff. So we don't live in a desert. I'm not saying I do desert landscaping, but these don't survive as well because these need more water, and therefore it overwaters the whole thing just to keep things alive.
Exactly. Manicuring, they need some more stuff. Right.
But eventually, when you're going to do it, just go and do it. Just get rid of all the plants that take too much water. Get rid of a lot of, like maybe half of the plants here.
Gene wants to keep it simple, practical.
It makes a lot of sense actually just to kill everything and just do gravel. But personally, I don't like that. Even just on a more practical basis. You walk home and it's dusty. Different feeling.
Right.
It's like we're not in Arizona. People sometimes make that mistake. We're in California. California is not a desert. California does not have succulents. Not in coastal California. We don't have succulents. We don't have, what we have is we have shrubs. Shrubs that retain moisture.
Gene, what's all of this? What's all of this here? On this porch? This is all the
Debris.
The debris. This is all that they're ripping out, and
people think that oh, there's disposal or recycling or whatever.
there's
Landfill.
So there's no repurposing at all. You can't repurpose any of this.
How
Gene.
do you repurpose this? The only repurposing you would have is to make into wood pulp. And funny thing is, like this is particle board. So this was already wood pulp made into something. So this is already recycled. The truth is, people are not recycling. And the city might mandate recycling. If you got a permit for this, they'll mandate that you recycle a certain percentage of the stuff. But the people that they're taking to recycling centers that are official recycling centers, they themselves are not even recycling it. They're just paying them more money so they can hold your stuff, and they hold it for a certain period, and then they tell the government that we can't recycle this, and then they throw it into the dump. All the stuff ends up in the dump. Essentially, recycling,
Correct.
all of the stuff that are recycling, even when they go to authorized recycling centers, they end up in landfills, majority of them. If you would take a look at the roof, the last thing is this is something that's actually not good for this unit because, as I mentioned, this is a 3-bedroom Covington, so it has a three bedroom in the front. But this type of roof is usually called Mansard siding. Mansard siding, it means that it's like this, pitched, but it also has a flat portion. So you can look at it, it's pitched, but it's not fully pitched. Right. So it's not fully like a roof. There's a flat portion on top, and that's usually a hot mop. You can tell that it's a flat portion because of the way that the drainage are going here. So the water going would still come out from the drains. So it wouldn't have that, obviously, if it was pitched. It wouldn't need that for rainwater. So those are important. It means that the hot mop here needs to be done every 10 years. Wow. Hot mop is just tar. You just put some tar over it. The bigger thing about some of these roofing, some of these kind of things too, we look at drainage, is we want to this should have gutters too. Eventually I should put gutters on this thing.
Right, so Gene, there's some new hop mop on this a new roof, and it looks like new hop mop.
No, hot mop is going to be on the flat portion that we can't see. Because these two units, a lot of times fourplexes, they were built, especially Covingtons, they were built facing each other as mirrors of each other. So it happens a lot that you had owners that own both units. So a lot of times they were separated out, twins separated at birth, if you will. And you could tell, and the big part of what we're doing, making sure that we maintain a house for a long time, is the most important thing is to keep the foundation healthy, keep the drainage healthy. So the drainage will be make sure rainwater goes to the right place. So mansard sidings are not good because you have to do the flat portion every so often, and it's prone to leaks. I don't like it, but this is it. Otherwise, another way we look at is gutters. So when it's draining, it doesn't drain towards the house, it drains away from the house. I think this concrete, as you can see, is actually tilted this way, so it drains the water away from the house. So this is not like a defect. This is by design where the concrete is actually tilted away from the house. It shouldn't be that noticeable, but it should be very slight. And the last thing that we want to keep everything healthy is want to make sure that these are cut. So whenever you have any kind of branches overlooking a house, those should definitely be cut off, because when the branches have any kind of organic material, the organic material would damage the roof because it decays, creates bacteria, creates whatever, and it would damage that part of the roof. At a serious point, that's why we do paint as well. Painting is not just to look nice. Painting protects the wood from sun, because remember, a lot of this wood has a lot of moisture in it because they're skeletons of trees. That's what wood is. And they have a lot of moisture in it. So if you dry it out, it becomes brittle, and that's when it breaks. Like bones, when you have they're bones essentially.
Yeah, all the moisture, all the substance
Yes,
out of it. Yeah.
all the nutrients out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So part of the reason that you do paint is that you keep the moisture locked in, and part of the reason you do paint is because termites don't eat paint. Termites eat wood pulp. So termites also don't eat bad wood pulp. Like when it's dry, termites don't eat that either. But termites don't eat paint. So you paint it because you protect against termites as well.
Got
You
it.
protect against sunlight. You protect against water. Paint does give you a base layer protection against water, against
Excellent,
like
yeah.
light water. Paint does actually help it come off too. So paint protects your building. It's a very soft layer. It's a very thin layer protection, but it is a protection for your building.
Makes a big difference. Yeah.
It does. It's sun, water, termites. You know, all the good things in life.